That's right, ladies and gents, today's video is sponsored by me, Mr. H. I am making my own H.P. Lovecraft horror film. Check out the GoFundMe link down below if you want to support independent and original film, and of course, H.P. Lovecraft and horror films. Breaking Lights is an exploration of depression, suicide, and mental health, and using that and H.P. Lovecraft as an allegory to explore that narrative. So check it out, the link down below. With that being said, on with today's video. Is horror making a comeback, ladies and gents? We are in Halloween. Oh, the festive season, All Hallows Eve. But is it making a comeback? Well, I myself here on the channel, you know, I absolutely love horror. I've made my own horror film, Black Fields. In fact, right over there is one of the props for Black Fields, and I'm making a Lovecraft horror film. Check out the link down below. But it would seem that studios are now cashing in massively on horror, understanding finally that you don't actually have to spend a lot of money to make a lot of money. The horror genre, generally speaking, 9 times out of 10, is made on minuscule budgets. Not like the majority of indie films are all horror films, of course, outliers among them, but you don't have to spend a lot of money on horror films for them to be absolutely fantastic, because it's all about tone, it's all about tension. Horror doesn't, require massive CGI effects, and of course, if you're going for practical effects, even better. But it would seem, ladies and gents, that one of the sort of up-and-comers in streaming is now cottoning on to the fact that yes, horror is on the rise. They are now coining it, I guess. They're coining in, cashing in on that horror cash cow. So that's the topic of today's video. Amazon Studios. Let's take a look. So here it is, ladies and gents. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Amazon has now ordered, and this is where we start to get a little bit young adult horror series based on the movie. Now, this is the initial news, but I also want to cast your mind back to Amazon Studios saying we're going to be doing an Event Horizon film. So this was way back in August of last year. It was announced by Variety, of all places. They had an exclusive that Amazon was going to be doing an Event Horizon series. It was in development at that point in time. We sadly haven't heard anything else about it, but I want to cover all of this because I do think that Amazon, they're on the up and up when it comes to their original content. And I do have some word that they're, HBO, for instance, we know that they've got Hellraiser's TV series in the works, and they also have another thing in the works. Hint there. Amazon and Paramount Television are developing a series adaptation of 1997 sci-fi horror film Event Horizon. Now, they already had the executive producer, Adam Wingard, on board. He was going to produce and direct the potential series. Wingard recently directed the film Godzilla vs. Kong, which is due out in theatres March. Oh, that didn't age very well, did it? And he has previously directed films like the recent Blair Witch reboot, The Guest. The Guest is great. You're Next, and the live-action version of Death Note. We don't talk about that. And he also wrote and directed films like Autoerotic and Have Fun. What Fun We Are Having. Wingard will executive produce along with Larry Gordon, Lloyd Levin, and Jeremy Platt. Gordon and Levin both produced the original film. So, not bad stock. Not bad stock there at all. And there was nothing else, right? There was nothing else at all. We do know that Amazon have this Truth Seekers comedy series, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. Looks really good, actually. I don't think it's out yet, but it does look good. So that was really quite interesting to hear. And then among many shows currently produced by Paramount Television is the Amazon series Jack Ryan, as well as Netflix shows 13 Reasons Why and The Haunting. So there was a lot going on there. Okay, there was a lot going on there. And then the streamer was also currently prepping the horror anthology series Them with Lena Waithe. So they firmly are, putting their staking their claim in horror, which is great to see because Netflix were some of the biggest people to do sort of indie horrors, or they have been anyway. And again, why? Well, because they're cheap, right? They don't cost much. Horror films cost a lot of money anyway. But on the grand scale of things, on the sliding scale, horror doesn't cost that much. It's probably some of the lowest budget movies you can make. They don't have to be expensive, and they can sometimes make massive bank. That's why do you think Blumhouse keeps churning out crap after crap because they don't cost much, and people keep paying to see them because there is a yearning. There is a fundamental yearning for good horror because it's when they nail it, horror is great. It is fantastic. It is nuanced. It chills you to your core. It's the reason why you run upstairs, you know, and quickly switch the light on and all this kind of nonsense. Like that's what you want with horror. That's what I want with horror anyway. You know, I wanna feel terrified, and it makes money because people have a yearning for it. People like to be scared. I guess we're somewhat masochistic in that regard. So on to the normal news now. The news of today anyway. So I Know What You Did Last Summer, Amazon orders young adult horror series based on the movie. There you go. And they are staking their claim. They absolutely are. So Amazon Studios has given a series green light to young adult horror series I Know What You Did Last Summer. A modern take on the hit 97 slasher film. The project hails from Sony Pictures Television and studio-based original film. Isn't that interesting? So it's going to be produced by Sony Pictures Television, and then Amazon Studios are just paying for it. So it also seems like Sony are moving into more streaming based. Hopefully they don't, you know, introduce their own streaming platform. But written by Sarah Goodman, who did Preacher, based on the 73 novel by Lois Duncan. The I Know What You Did Last Summer series has the same premise as the movie adaptation. In a town full of secrets, a group of teenagers are stalked by a mysterious killer a year after a fatal accident on their graduation night. So we also had some statements, okay? And these statements were: the best horror franchises always have another scare coming. And this, I Know What You Did Last Summer series from Sarah Goodman, is a perfectly twisted update to the iconic slasher movie. That was from Albert Cheng, COO and co-head of television at Amazon Studios. So they have a lot of confidence in it. And he continued and said, any way you slice it, our global Prime Video customers will love this modern take on the fan favourite film. Now, modern takes sometimes can be poo. They can be absolutely garbage, but I've got a lot of hope for this. I'm trying to be hopeful anyway, let's be honest. I want horror to be good. I'm a big horror fan. Now, I Know What You Did Last Summer, produced by Amazon Studios and Sony Pictures TV, had been in development for a couple of years. Original Films' Neil H. Moritz, who produced the 97 movie with Columbia Pictures, has been the main driver behind the project, which went through multiple incarnations. Last year, James Wan and his Atomic Monster boarded the series. Goodman executive produces alongside Shay Hatton, who was previously attached as a writer. Original Films' Moritz and Pavun Shetty, and Atomic Monsters' Juan, Rob Hackett and Michael Clare. Eric Feig, who produced the 97 feature with Moritz, also is an executive producer. And another individual from Sony Pictures made a statement, said, we are thrilled to have I Know What You Did Last Summer with our incredible partners at Amazon Studios. Neil Moritz and Original Films development consistently fires on all cylinders, and that is proven once again with Sarah Goodman's contemporary and pulsating character weaving suspense thriller. There you go. Not much else to really go into here, but it does seem, ladies and gents, it is the season. October, the Fright Fest is here. But it does seem, anyway, that horror is on the rise, and I love that. I absolutely love that. Little faith that it would come from Amazon, I guess. I mean, I didn't think it would, but there you go. What do you think about this? Good news, bad news? Let me know down below. If you are new here, do hit subscribe. Speaking of horror, ladies and gents, I've been doing a new thrice weekly series, Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays, Hellraiser comics. Fascinating comics, actually. I'm doing a full read-through dramatization. They are audiobook forms. You'll find that one will be released tonight, or you can just head on over to the Hellraiser playlist and see the two previous episodes, the prelude and then part 1. This is part 2 anyway. They're very interesting, written by Clive Barker for Boom Studios, so check them out. But thank you all so much. I've been Mr. H. Take care.